You are listening to the Lucha Central Podcast Network. And now, LuchaCentral.com presents Masks, Mats, and Mayhem.
I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
Nobody knows the whole story.
Whoa. I hit all the wrong buttons. That was great.
I had to unmute you because I'm on the... Hi, everybody.
Let me do this again. Welcome to another edition of Masks, Mats, and Mayhem. I am your host and producer who hits all the wrong buttons, Justin Outlaw Harvey. You can find me on social media at JustinHarvey75. You can find this entire show on social media at MMMshow75. And thank you to all of the lovely new subscribers over on Instagram. Now, why don't you guys just chug on over here to YouTube? Give us a couple extra follows over here too. We'll love it. And we promise we will keep delivering high quality content for all of you, because I'm here with my man, Tony Allen. Tony the Saint. We like to call him Tony the Saint over here, because he's the guy responsible for moving the Kansas City Chiefs out of Kansas City, Missouri to Kansas City, Kansas, because that's not fucking confusing.
What? Why is that confusing, people? It's two cities, same name. If you go from Kansas City to Kansas City, then you don't have to change the merge. That's all. Hi, everybody. This is Tony Allen. Again, follow me at TonyST.Allen on Instagram. How you doing, man?
It's confusing because they're still the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yes.
But they'll be in an entirely different city. With different open carry laws. Yeah, like in one state you can carry a gun openly with no registration, no permit or whatever, and then the other one you can't.
Yeah, you can, but I mean they won't say anything. I'm just you
might
get arrested and shot, but you know
the other one has really good barbecue.
I don't know what the other one has because I spend the least amount of time. Well, now I'll have a reason to go to KCK.
To the other Kansas City?
Yeah, to the other.
I spent time in both of them when I was doing a show called Gear Dogs. It was originally called House of Cars, but I think it aired as Gear Dogs. And we were living on the Missouri side, but we were filming on the Kansas City side.
As you should.
Yeah, because that's where all the car guys were.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
Anyway, welcome to the show. Feliz Navidad, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Merry Kwanzaa, all of the holidays, all of the things. We hope you got good presents under the tree. We hope you're lighting your menorahs tonight. We hope that you're celebrating your cultural relevance with your Kwanzaa celebrations, all of the fun things that happen at this time of year. We hope you're enjoying them. And we also hope that you're ready to enjoy some wrestling this week, because there seems to be plenty on. In general. And I just got done with a marathon of watching AAA and NXT and Monday Night Raw.
I'm actually right now watching, like as we are on the air, I'm watching the Bandito Ricochet match.
Great match. Great match. Probably the highlight of Dynamite tonight to me. There was a couple of fun things on there, but I'm going to start with and I would definitely say that was one of the high points of the week. I'm going to start with my pops and drops, though, because my pop of the week is actually the whole AAA show.
Yes.
And, not to disparage CMLL at all, because I've been hearing great things about their show this week. I just haven't watched it yet. This just makes me happy. In general, I feel like there's something magical going on with Lucha Libre right now. And it could be a good thing. It could be a bad thing. I don't know. But Lucha Libre, I think, is going into a period of, let's say, accelerated relevance. I think this happened a little bit with Lucha Underground, and I think that it got the coolness factor with the IWC and the smart marks and some of the people in the know in wrestling, and it really helped Lucha Libre a lot. I think that's the main reason. Let's be honest. The main reason why you have so many luchadors breaking through and so much interest in Lucha Libre right now is because of Lucha Underground. The same way, hardcore wrestling and breaking the traditional rules would have never been a thing without ECW. Like ECW changed wrestling forever. So did Lucha Underground. Whether or not they had the most ratings, whether or not every casual fan understood or knew about these things, it seeps into the industry because the people in the industry are like, oh, that junk is cool. Let's glom onto some of that. Let's take some of that and put it in our product. And then you saw especially when Pentagon and Phoenix became part of what was Impact at the time,
Right.
after Lucha Underground kind of disappeared, it was like, that was a bigger deal than people realized. Even though Impact wasn't getting the big ratings, it was like, hey, these luchadors that used to be only in CMLL and AAA and maybe sometimes New Japan are getting real American deals now and don't have to wrestle in Mexico at all if they don't want to. They can, which I think you've seen with guys like Vikingo last year, the poor guy wasn't even getting hurt in big events. He was getting hurt, but he was like in gymnasiums, like Vikingo just
I
wrestled.
think he got hurt in some like high school gym, and
I mean, he was doing like triple jump moonsaults out of the high school basketball stand bleachers and stuff, like just ridiculous, like running down rails, and just God bless him, but also, dude, stop it. Stop
yes,
it.
yeah, you have a
What are
have
we
a big
doing?
match coming up next
Yeah.
week. Don't go to the
But he was young and he was excited. I mean, he had the match with Kenny Omega, and he he's doing stuff in AEW, he's doing stuff in AAA. He was the mega champion there, and he was, and still wrestling in high school gymnasiums all over the United States because those gigs were paying him good money.
Yeah.
And when you've been a starving wrestler, killing your body for a couple $100 a night, all of a sudden, an American indie show that pays $1,000 is like,
sounds good.
Even when Tony Khan's paying you better than that, you're still like, but I can have more. Okay, let's do more.
Yeah.
But-
Well, that goes into that I always say this. That I think it was an interview or I read somewhere that David Spade got this advice by his manager or agent. It's like, don't quit SNL or the movies are gonna go away. So that I think that's where you gotta save, the main gig, so you keep getting called from somewhere else, but don't kill yourself in the in the indie show. That's gotta say, yeah.
I mean, exactly. Like you can't. There's a time and a place. There's a time and a place. And Vikingo is slowly learning that. He's as good a place to start as any with this AAA event. The
Guerra
War
de
of the
Titanes.
Titans. I can't roll my R's like that. I can say
Guerra
the
Nice.
Titanes.
Okay, yeah, fine. Good, do it.
Guerra-
No. We're good. You can.
I can't. My R's just don't do that for some reason. I have decent pronunciation of most languages, but Spanish, my R's don't.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Practice.
yes, you'll get
I
there.
have to practice my can't do it. It's terrible. Anyway, the War of the Titans.
Oh wow, it sounds really bad. It doesn't have the same gravitas in the translation.
I'm sorry, let me say it better. Let me use a radio voice for it. War of Titans.
But I think Clash of Titans was like.
Well, it's basically, yes, it's Clash of Titans, but the literal translation would be War of Titans.
War of Titans. That makes no sense. But anyways.
Yeah.
That show was really good. It had really great matches. Very entertaining.
The
But I
Guadalajara crowd was on top of it, man.
Yes, it was sold out, and it felt sold out. Because sometimes you have capacity crowds, but you don't have any of the noise and the people being into the show as much. I thought that they did the crowd plays a great part on this product being looking good. So I think they did their part. They understood a lot of the things that you have to do. This is the thing that that I thought about what it was happening. Yes, it is a WWE programming embedded into the AAA crowd. If I
Right.
if it works like that. So now that we're getting those two worlds connected, it's working perfectly. And
Yeah, I mean, like I heard Conan talking a few years ago about what he would like to see different in AAA, and he always said, like, I want the better video packages, I want some more of the production stuff, I want this, that, and the other thing, but I want to keep the culture of lucha libre the way that we've done it in AAA, because believe me, there is more than one culture of lucha libre. Like AAA has its own brand of it. They do, things with exoticos, and they do a different style of mini wrestling than CMLL does. Like they have a different thing.
Well, exoticos are like they are able to work in both. Like I think that's more of a social, societal thing.
But I think the presentation of it in AAA has always been different. They always like to do those matches where it's like one mini, one exotico, and one luchador on a team versus another team, and where CMLL tends to like it's two exoticos versus each other. Or
you're right. Yeah, or like they have the Que Malito and Que Monito, and
correct.
They are just side attractions. I've never seen them have an actual match.
No, like in AAA, like they tend to mix it up a little differently and do, they gimmick up the matches a little bit more. They use heel refs more than CMLL. There's different stuff about, AAA that a lot of classic Lucha Libre fans complain about even. Like, it is not necessarily traditional style Lucha Libre by any stretch of the imagination. Contrary to what people here in the States believe and understand. They don't realize that AAA came in and was basically shaking up a lot of traditions themselves. And that was part of the genius of AAA was that, and it wasn't a lot of stuff, but they did enough things differently that it caused some waves and it got some of the younger fans excited for a while.
To be honest, the three branch, right? The schism of Lucha Libre. I'm using big words here. At the beginning, it was, I think, when I was a kid, especially, I remember, I thought it was even more clear, especially in gear. The gear the wrestler will be using, the colors on the masks, the music, and all the stuff. It looked a lot more. It looked a lot more separate at the moment, because you had to, right? But I think as time had progressed, it has come, it has become a little bit blurred, except on the way except the bookings, like that.
Right.
That's the main difference. And one thing you mentioned, and something you mentioned on our chat, on the group chat that we have, and then I went back to watch just before we started, is that video package,
that opening package. It got me, bro.
Yeah, no. I went back. I'm like, okay, maybe Justice being too sensitive, and I was like, wait, wasn't that shit in Spanish? Oh, 30 minutes. Okay, first curse, 30 minutes. New record. But no. And the way they bridged that WWE AAA thing, when they say, then, now, and forever, but then it's then, now, together, Lucha Libre forever. I was like, oh my God, they got me. It
was great. And then the fact that they still did the presentation of Maricela out there in the audience, like they still kept some of those regular AAA things, those conventions that you just see, whether they're cheesy or not. It's like they really are mixing the two things together. And so
I used to complain about that.
Same, but it was nice to see it still there.
Not anymore, because I felt like they're doing it to respect it, right?
Correct.
So now that is so smart. That is so intelligent.
And that's what I was feeling. It was like, wow, this really is a combination of the two worlds, but somehow right now they're picking the parts from both worlds that I like, because it could have very easily been all the stuff I didn't like from one and all the stuff I didn't like from another. And I'm sure if Meefloaf was here, he would absolutely say, no, the Maricela thing and the Psycho Circus being on the show at all is absolutely the parts that he doesn't like. But Meef likes to hate watch anything with clowns.
Yeah.
So
can you put the last comment out Danielle is making here? That is a valid complaint. But I mean, I understand cost of music licensing and all this stuff,
Right.
but having, I don't know, ¿cómo se llama this exotic what's her name? Oh my god, I'm forgetting names right now. But to have the wrestlers come in with not with the, like, La Parca comes out and it does not make sense what he's dancing to, because that's supposed to be Michael Jackson Thriller.
Right.
And then Pimpinella, Pimpy comes out and he's not Celia Cruz. It does not make any. It just doesn't hit the same way.
It does not hit the same way. But
that's the only complaint so far.
But tonight it was great because you got Pimpinella and Masquerita in a backstage segment as part of the big brawl, which I thought that brawl was great, man. I had so much fun watching that nonsense.
Wait, who did Pimpy kiss?
Gacy.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Dexter got out of it, and Gacy got the besos.
The pesos, yes, that's right.
And then Masquerita was there, and I popped for that. And then Psycho ripping the face off and having the like bloody skull face underneath. That was great. I was like, these cats are pulling out all the stops for this silly, fun, garbage match. It was just fun. Like, isn't wrestling supposed to be fun? I didn't need a lot of story, you know. I didn't need
but there is the other part that there is story. Like,
right.
We have, I mean, that match, this is the thing. You got to put one match in there, you know, whether it's I don't want to say Mystery One anymore, because the Mystery One matches now mean something, which is like, because now they're embedded with like Ethan Page. See that's how they're doing it. They're doing it right. They're doing it right. They got me now. I'm looking forward to their shows. And well, I'll talk about this later, about the coverage they will have. They have me. But then you have things in AAA that have repercussions over at WWE. Well, if they follow through with it, like
right,
El Grande Americano, my favorite Starbucks order, he now has turned face in Mexico, which he was already. He did.
I mean, they did a decent job of kind of putting him back on the heel thing by doing Los Gringos again.
But he shook hands with Rey Mysterio and the other guy. So
yeah,
and the Lucha bro. So, but I don't know what happened on Monday, so I don't know.
But I mean, this is also why we have Vikingo now going full heel, and him coming out with Omos. I thought was so much better use of Omos. Like, Omos down there feels important. In WWE, it's like, we know that this is some giant that's just going to stomp around the ring, choke slam somebody, and not mean anything. But in AAA, like, a heater that's just a giant like that means something, especially when the average height of your luchadors is what, 5'8", 5'9". I mean, almost that extra foot goes a long way when you don't have a bunch of other, 6'5" guys out there, and he's like 6'9".
I think that's gonna be the.
That's like, imagine if you put Omos in a TNA ring, you would be like, "What the hell?" Or, in a WWE ring, we've seen big guys. We had, all sorts of big shows and Braun Strowman.
But that's the perfect collaboration, because now you have these talents that otherwise will be overlooked, I guess. And then you put them in a AAA ring, and they mean something different.
Yeah,
because I'm pretty sure everybody in Guadalajara went like,
for a while. It was great.
Who's this guy? Who is this motherfucker? He just came into the ring, and they gave him a storyline with the owner, or I don't know what they are anymore, co-owners, whatever.
Well, I know Marcelo is considered the president of AAA, and Dorian is one of the head creatives. So I don't know what his actual title is these days. But
okay, well, so you put him in there, and now he means something. So yeah, that was really good. And also, I think they finally kind of cracked what they should do with Hijo del Vikingo, because oh my god,
Absolutely.
it's just it was painful to watch. Not himself not knowing that now he has to be the bad guy.
I
And
like that they didn't rush it though. I like that they kept his booking the way it was for a few shows. Let the crowd feel it. Let the crowd feel like they made the change. I actually appreciated that, and I think it was very deliberate between Borash and Conan, realizing what was going on, realizing they had to make a change, but having the patience to make it make sense when they did it instead of hot-shotting him to the dark side. Because the crowd was taking care of it anyway. It's like, just be careful how you book him.
but
Don't
you know
overdo
what?
it.
It was so close out there. It was so close for them to ruin his career because of a purchase of a company. Like,
Correct.
It was there. It
was
could
there.
have happened. It was
Yeah.
there. Because every time I will see the shows and I'm like, man, these guys. It was so. I mean, it was this one particular show when they start booing him in Toluca. I think it was like. So that's no. It was in El Estado de Mexico. That's where he grew up. That's where he's from. And they start booing him. Well, he's from Puebla, but that's where they start booing him. And it was like, isn't this kind of
Right.
like your people? Like Guadalajara, that's kind of like northern Mexico. Monterrey, he's gonna get booed regardless. But that area in particular, if he's getting booed, then you have a problem with your booking. So
Yeah.
it was good. It was good that they did it like that.
Okay, so let me ask you about another booking thing. Being a Lucha Libre fan, I gotta ask you about the Tarantes of it all, because he's a heel ref at times, but tonight he did a heel refy thing for Io del Dr. Wagner Jr.
Stop.
Jr. the third. What the hell are we calling him?
I don't know. We need,
HBWJ the third.
they gotta fix that. Okay, so before we get
You
into
need
the
somebody-
booking,
Wagner, for the Wagner that's actually wrestling. But so
they need to fix that now, because it is gonna become a problem. Merch wise, I want to be able to buy just the merch with the right name and then not worry about.
And he's over, and he's totally over, but the name is
over.
ridiculous.
And I'm looking forward to him being more. Oh, by the way, yeah, that's right. Danny is pointing out something. They were chanting for Hijo del Vikingo to pay child support
Amazing.
through the whole thing. It was.
And
loud.
definitely he should.
Um,
But I'm just saying, so like the heel ref thing was interesting, because so Ethan Page cheats with the wrench, gets the actual win.
I
They
remember,
count
yes.
the win, then it gets pointed out, and the ref
He reversed.
overturns it. But it's Tarantes who has been known to cheat, so it's basically a heel ref. And
I did
Mr.
remember that.
Suspenders restarts the match, and then Wagner, as I will call him to make my life easier, gets the win again very quickly. So, and this was one of the things that I did used to have a little bit of an issue with AAA, that I think American fans don't understand, is the idea of a heel ref. We've done a few weird ref things here in the States with like the
Wasn't
Hebner
Little
twins.
Nate kind of a heel ref?
What's that?
Little Nate wasn't.
Yeah,
he
I mean,
a ref.
He was Flair's guy, yes. And then you had the weird Hebner screw job where there was multiple Hebners.
Oh, I remember that.
Earl and his brother did a thing, and I think they're actually triplets, aren't they? Like,
I don't know. Maybe they just look alike. Like,
I don't know. There's a bunch of Hebners, but only one of them was really a ref, and then the other ones helped out or whatever. But anyway, it was a weird thing to me. Like, and this is one of those things where it's only. This is really a Lucha Libre thing, especially in AAA, not so much CMLL.
Yes. Oh, yeah. You're
Like
correct.
in American wrestling, if somebody counts to 3, as we saw with Thea Hale last week, the 3 has been counted. The match is over. We're not coming up with some hokey restart of the thing.
Well, they've
Maybe
done that in WWE.
If it's a draw, sometimes you get a restart, like a time limit runs out,
right.
It's a multiple pinfall match and they both have 2 pinfalls at the end, then you might get a restart. But like, never do you get a 3 count and a restart. I thought that was a little odd.
Well, they're having. I forgot what her name is.
Elias, I'm going to talk about your question in a second too.
You're watching comments that I can't. I forgot what the name of the. She's a female ref in WWE. There's feuding with Becky Lynch.
Oh, yeah. I'll
I'm
think of her name.
sorry.
She's actually also a wrestler.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. So it is. I think from my like, yeah, Tirantes has been a heel ref my whole life. He's ruined plenty of triple manias. I think for me, I think I'm trying to remember exactly one particular one. I was in the crowd and was like, "Fuck this shit," but I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing because I'm kind of used to it. I do hate it, but that does create that heat that you want. But I don't know if they should do it as constantly as they did with. But I thought he had turned face. Or neutral. I guess that's the point of this,
Right.
because a ref should not be either or. It should be neutral. So I don't know if you can you turn neutral. That is that
Right.
a thing now.
I do want to go back to one other earlier comment that Daniel made about, are we talking about del Vikingo Grinch version, which that felt very AAA odd to me too, a little copyright infringement.
Yeah.
You gotta have a little bit,
Borderline.
right? Like that's just always been a AAA odd thing, man. You gotta have a little bit of that in there.
But you know what? That's also a lucha libre thing.
Yeah.
Like you go to the shows. That's what I like to go to, smaller shows here in Mexico, because you go and experience the shirts that should not have Bart Simpson on it.
Right.
Or things like that. That's part of and it's part of our culture. We appropriate what it's just we're really good at creating memes, because memes here are like, probably existed before we had internet. So yeah, just
Rebecca, I think you've been watching this show for about 10 years now. We're almost at our 10-year anniversary. I think you've been with us for almost all 10 of those, Rebecca. Last thing I want to mention before I go back to a previous comment that I do want to address, which is Elias Ortega's comment. The opening match. Wow. Just amazing with the Los Americanos and who else was in there? Mr. Iguana was partnered with.
Hold on, I got it right here.
I'm trying to remember.
It was La Parca Octagon defeated Los Americanos, Mr. Iguana, and Niño Hamburguesa, and Latin World Order, which I did not even know these guys, Cruz del Toro and Joaquin Wild, were part of it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, they did the slingshot thing. They got their big spot off. So, and Mr. Iguana got to help with the slingshot thing, which is came off great. But that match, to me, was like, it was so AAA.
Yep.
You had all the high flying spots. The guys were money. Niño Hamburguesa, totally just so over, and his spots are so great. And even I was listening in the American version. I switched over a couple of times between the two, but just hearing JBL on the commentary putting over Hamburguesa and actually doing a really good job.
So fun.
Poor Conan, love the guy, love him dearly, good friend, but also a little slow on the call these days. He's a little behind the action.
Yeah, no, I didn't want to mention anything because
that's my homie, but I'm not afraid to criticize a little bit.
But yeah, that is, yeah, like his points are maybe 2 or 3 moves.
They're valid. They're valid.
No, they're good. They're really good.
The exact right thing, but. We know Conan likes to live in Iran. He gets a little bit of Iranian tobacco going, and might just be a step behind there, Conan. Just a teensy bit. Like he was saying about the finish, one of the matches 2 minutes after the finish was over. It's like, bro, you missed it on the replay. Like what are we doing here? That match was amazing too. The women's match, I'm really enjoying some of the women's stuff right now. I think Lola was a really good addition to that division. Bringing Fabi back was actually a good call. That could have gone the other way, but I'm going to give it up to her. I think Fabi's been putting in some great work, having Natty down there regularly. These girls,
I think that she's taking like a whole new dimension. Natalia, it's just the fact that she goes there, and I mean, she might have got a little overlooked in WWE. So now is I will say, right, like just like title reign wise and all the stuff, but now she feels so important in AAA.
well,
And
and it's the right division for her because it is not a finesse division. Like the NXT women's division is a finesse division where you want to look a certain way, you want to shine, you want to have smooth transitions. It's a hoss fight division in AAA. The women's division down there is for girls with power moves that can handle bumps and do big spots and do power spots. And that's what they're doing. And the fact that they have a division that's very even, and like and Lola in there is great too because she's got the legit MMA background. She can take a punch to the face. Like she's not afraid at all. As pretty as she is, she's not like one of these other NXT girls. You put Kalani Jordan in to AAA right now and see what happens. That poor girl would be murdered, And this is what we saw happen to Rosemary. Like things were heated with the other girls when Rosemary went down there and she got caught in the crossfire of some stuff between Sexy and the other girls. And like, it just is not the place you want to be if you are, gun shy at all. These girls are bruisers. They battle, and it's a good division.
I think women in the AAA division will, like, I am concerned that I might not make it. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I would like, oh, wait a minute, maybe I shouldn't talk shit around this. You know what I mean? Like
that makes it exciting to me.
It
It's
does,
like
yes,
that's what
yes.
you want. You want like you either want a high level of athleticism or you want people that you're afraid of. Like I love Shane Taylor and I love JD Drake and I love Eddie Kingston, not because these are body guys or whatever, but they look like the dudes at the end of the bar that you do not want to mess with. Like you walk into a club and Shane Taylor is the bouncer, you sit your ass down and respect the rules.
Yeah.
You're in the middle of a street and you see a guy like Eddie Kingston, like this is some dude that's in the pipe fitters union that's literally gonna hit you with a pipe if you mouth off. And that's what the AAA women's division feels like to me. It's like these are the ladies. You are not. Are you gonna say something bad about anything about her outfit? What she made you to eat? No, you're gonna shut up and eat it. You're gonna.
Great stuff, baby.
Do what you're told. You know who's in charge.
Yeah.
So I am gonna let me go back and find this comment.
Sure.
This is the comment
I do have a point to make about that too.
CMLL is shooting itself in the foot by not being as easily accessible for all. I'm going to put an is in front of this. Is CMLL shooting itself in the foot by not being as easily accessible for all? Thanks, Elias, for that statement that you made. I'm turning it into a question because I think it is. I realized today, and I was like, I'm watching AAA. We've got Alvaro Riojas on the show later. I want to talk about some CMLL. My friend Casey, who used to be one of the original co-hosts of this show, watched some CMLL this week, and then I realized, crap, I don't really know where to watch CMLL right now. Am I nuts? Am I missing out on something here?
So I'm in the same boat, and you know that I know people down there, and
they're doing great stuff,
and I love their shows. I love going to Arena Mexico. It's the best experience. I have not been this year to a AAA show yet, but I think the only way to watch it is through TUDN. Like, but if you tell, like, I don't know if it's on VIX. I really don't know. I really don't know how any of it.
So accessibility is an issue because
it is an issue. It will grow because AAA is gonna be on 3 different platforms, streaming platforms, and 2 of them are for free. Tubi is for free, so you just need to download the app, and that will be it.
Well, that worries me.
It is on VIX. Hold on, let me put this on because I have powers too.
Oh yeah, there you go.
There you go. So it is on VIX, but you have to pay the premium version. So that is the same thing as getting the YouTube channel subscription. So it is a problem, and it's only gonna get worse because also of things like this. This is the Sports Illustrated Mexico magazine.
Tilt it at an angle a little bit so it doesn't reflect.
No. Can you see?
Tilt down.
It needs to be like on my phone.
There you go. That's the way.
Okay. So it's disappearing for some reason. So I feel like in Back to the Future when the photos start disappearing. So this is Sports Illustrated Mexico, and it has WWE and AAA, one ring, two worlds. So it's not only that they are capturing the market, like you can go and watch on the WWE YouTube channel or AAA YouTube channel, and they're doing incredible numbers. But also the local market, it's going to get eaten. The local market, I mean Mexico, because that's where I'm at.
And this was the concern that I mentioned when we first started talking about this, was that the winners write the history.
That's right.
And now I'm not so worried about, like, look, AAA and CMLL have been at each other's throats for a long time. Like, I'm not so concerned with one of those two winning and them writing the history. What I'm concerned with is that it's WWE writing the history on behalf of AAA. And again, I really liked this show. I'm not complaining about this show, but at the same time, it bears stating that the history, as it's going to be written about what Lucha Libre means, its cultural relevance, who the real stars of the past were, is up for debate now because of how much power and influence WWE has, because of how good a job they are doing right now. Right now, they're staying very true to form, but true to form doesn't last forever. I mean, TKO is doing a lot of things with WWE in general right now that are not true to form. Everyone complained about Vince forever, but now there's certain things where people would love to have Vince or Vince ideology running certain things, where they don't like certain TKO things. And I think it's going to be that way every time one of these companies changes hands. And I don't know how long TKO is going to hold on to WWE. So what is that going to mean for AAA down the road? Are they going to get sold back off? Are they going to still have the same amount of power? What, it leads a lot of questions. But Casey, the professor, Lucha Gringo, one of the foremost knowledgeable people on Lucha Libre in the American side of things over here, said that the Speedball Dorada match and the Kevin Knight Soberano matches that happened this week in CMLL were amazing. Part of why you didn't see those guys on the AEW shows, because they went down to Mexico. Though if Tony Khan was really being nice, he would have lent them out to New Japan, because
Jesus, they need some help.
Looking at that card, they could use some. Hey, you said that, not me, Daniel. CMLL seems to be run by an old man that doesn't like changes. That is a matter of opinion, let's say.
I'm glad you read it. No. That's what I'm saying. Anyways, I'm glad that you read it.
No, but I mean, look, this happens in wrestling in general. Like, and again, it's exactly like what I said about WWE. Like, there are good things and bad things about that. Like, sometimes the older thinking creates traditions that last, that make the product enjoyable and make it mean something from generation to generation. I think Vince did do that with WWE. I think CMLL is very much like that kind of brand right now. But the AAA brand is really getting ahead of steam right now.
Yeah.
So they're in danger, and they may have to try some new things. I think, especially with distribution, with social media, I think CMLL needs to start dating a little bit. I think they need to play the market, play the field a little bit more.
Go out, talk to some people, get to know them. Well, this is
I'll tell you right now, Rebecca, Tripp's got nothing to do with that. Triple H's power level has been highly misconstrued in the WWE from everyone I've talked to. He is really the head of creative, and even in that role, there are many, many times when he's not being told what to do by other people, but he has very powerful outside sources consulting with him on how they would like things to go for the sake of business. He is in control of the day-to-day stuff, but he has people working under him that do that too. And they're presenting him as the public face of the company, like Dana White. But, Dana White doesn't book all his matches in UFC either. Dana White doesn't make every UFC decision. When it comes to a big business thing, other people make the decisions. And with the day-to-day stuff, they let him handle it. But, don't think that the business strategy is by any stretch of the imagination Triple H's. He has absolutely nothing to do with the global positioning of WWE in any fashion. It's part of why they took his board, his board seat away from him when TKO took over the company. They wanted to just have him in a certain place and then maybe slowly work him back into the board once the Vince stuff was dealt with. So we'll see where that goes.
Going back to the AAA CMLL thing, we're speculating way too far into when TKO gets rid of WWE or if it happens or whatever. Maybe. But in the right now, not in the future of who's writing the story, in the right now, I think that this past show, which by the way is not the biggest show they have, I think, and I don't have data on this, but I think this is how their weekly shows will look like, right? On Fox, Tubi, whatever it's going to be called. I think this is how they're going to look like. They did almost 2 million views with all their platforms combined.
And how many people were in that arena? That thing was packed.
I think I can look at it.
And it looked so good. I don't know if that arena is designed for Lucha Libre or what, but there was more of a slope. There's less people sitting flat on the floor. There's more of a slope all the way down to the ring. It looks so good. Like some of these places in Mexico are so much better designed for wrestling than American basketball arenas.
They are designed for jaripeos or, there's this type of concert we do over here when you had it was originally designed for cockfights. So you had the same structure, and then it's a regular arena, but it's just.
But something away the retractable part of the stands that comes out still is at more of an angle than what you would get here, even in a college arena. It just looked better for wrestling to me. You had more of a slope to the crowd.
There is a while they were constructing it, it makes a lot of sense of why it looks like that. It's just like it's a lot of open space in the middle. It's like it looks more like a hockey ring arena. That's what it looks like, I think.
Which in some of those are actually good for wrestling here in the States. Like the one that they run in Pittsburgh for AEW is great because when they pulled out the floor stuff, they have more stands that can go down.
Thank you very much. That was. So it is because it's in Guadalajara, and a Palenque, it's that's where you had the cockfights in the past, but you're supposed to have the singers with the band in the middle, so it's like a 360 view, so it go around. So that's where you get that better looking. And Arena Monterrey looks kind of the same because they're from the same company. So when they come here, it does have that.
I dig it.
It's and it gets packed and it looks amazing, and you can hear the crowd as much as they can hear the rest because that's how it's built for it.
Which is awesome. Look, while we're talking a little bit about Lucha Libre, I want you guys all to know about a show that's coming through the Colorado and Texas area. You guys watch this from our buddies over at Mass Republic. They're putting on Masked Mania again.
Masked Mania's 2026 tour of Lucha Libre Mexicana kicks off with live events in Laredo, Texas, San Antonio, Texas, Loveland, Colorado, and Denver, Colorado. Hosted by the legend Vampiro. Featuring a double main event. It's Family Wars, the original La Parka. L.A. Park and his sons battle Pirata Morgan and his sons. And the Legends of Lucha Libre Championship is on the line. As champion Tini Blas Jr. with a Luche. Defensed against El Rudo Americano Sam Adonis. Plus many more, including Hijo de Rey Mysterio, Legado Bella, and many luchador superstars in action. All tickets include a free pre-show meet and greet with select luchadors, and VIP packages are available. It all kicks off this January in Texas. Tickets are on sale now. Visit maskmania.com for details.
I'm excited.
Some lucha libre.
Danielle here in the chat is like, "Oh, a lucha. That's what you get excited about out of everything."
Everything in there.
Yeah. I also love the pronunciation of La Gatúbela. That was, I don't know who said that, but I'm sorry.
Well, look, Kev doesn't hire me to do those voiceovers anymore, so because I can't roll the R's. I can do the voice, but I can't roll the R's.
I just loved it. La Gatúbela. It's like three people in that.
I believe
love
he
it,
also
love
said
it.
Ihu instead of Iho.
Hijo, and also their sons, because there are a whole bunch of them. I'm not gonna,
Right.
I'm not gonna name them all.
Not gonna list all the Puradas.
But it looks like a great card. It does look like a great card.
Look, Ruben puts on an amazing show. Kevin Kleinrock does amazing things for luchadors and helping them get their branding and merchandising and stuff done here in the States, and visas even. So big shout out to the Masked Republic guys and putting on this show, Masked Mania. They're taking it on the road this time. Should be fun. I'm hoping I can get down to maybe the El Paso or San Antonio shows. They've invited me out, but I got to look at the schedule with my kids because they got a play coming up. So can't be in two places at once, brother. I got to talk about my drop of the week, Tony.
Go ahead, man.
My drop of the week was kind of my pop of the week last week.
Oh.
I'm very sad to announce that I wasn't a huge fan of Thea Hale's promo tonight or yesterday.
Last night, yeah.
I watched it today, but like my daughter and I were watching it earlier, and she was like, "Why is she just screaming? What is she doing?" And I was like, "Yeah, this is like you're getting your one shot." And everything she was saying, I think, was the right stuff. But I wanted a little more of that character that she was doing with Joe Hendry. Like I wanted a little more fun out of it. She went with the fiery thing. Like we used to, like, Kevin Cross is a homie, but we used to complain when he would do the yelling Cross, the mean, angry Cross thing. And it was like, no, the subtle, evil hitman thing is way scarier than when you're yelling. And I felt the same way about Thea Hale tonight. The bubbly, more fun, likable version of her works better than the Chase U version of her, where she's just yelling and screaming. It was a little cringy. And I have to say though, that's reaching for a drop. I really did not dislike wrestling this week. I thought Raw was pretty decent. Nothing like super incredible. I thought that they even actually did a decent job with the Austin Theory thing. Like they made it make sense. I still don't think it's great. I still don't think that he was the guy that should have been in that spot, or that if he was going to be the guy that they should have done the spot that way. But at the very least, and I think Paul Heyman is responsible for it, like when you get to the place where you have to make it make sense, they made it make sense. They made Austin Theory make sense. So that saved Raw for me as being a decent show. Then NXT had some really great stuff on it. I thought the two LFG kids who won the second season coming up and doing their kind of schmozzy whatever candy cane match, mixed tag was really good. There was just a lot of great stuff on there, and you seeing these Saul Ruka stuff was really good. Seeing those kids coming up, but the Thea Hale thing, I was just like, oh, Thea. But at least Thea's getting a big match now. So for New Year's Evil, which is not a pay-per-view, I don't think. I don't know if it's a regular show or if it's pay-per-view or not, but NXT New Year's Evil, you got Tatum Paxley versus Izzy Dame.
Oh, it's not a pay-per-view. It's just a regular show because it's on a Tuesday.
It's on a Tuesday, right?
It's the New Year's Eve. So
right. But it's billed as their next big thing. So then you have Thea Hale versus Blake Monroe just added now, which is the change up from whatever plan they had there for the North American Championship. Then you got the NXT Women's Championship, JC Jane versus Kendall Gray. And Kendall Gray, who's the Evolve champion, man, she's just come out of nowhere and she's really turning heads. So
wait, let me correct that. It's on January 6th.
Right. So it's the week of New Year's, but not. It's like a week after New Year's.
It's a commemoration of a certain event in the United States.
Yeah, I remember that. Everybody went knocking door to door at the
Yeah.
one really important house.
It was like a posada, but for Gringo. So
that one house that's painted white. Yeah. that place.
yes. Well, they went from that to the other one that is like a capital, but with a misspelling on there.
These guys. And then you got Oba Femi versus Leon Slater for the NXT championship. And again, very interesting. This might be one of the last TNA things that you see right now. I don't know. Moose has got a match coming up next week. The other really cool thing on NXT I thought was the Javon Evans, Ricky Saints promo. Javon actually getting in digs on Ricky, like to the point where I almost wonder if Ricky helped him write it.
It was, yeah. Well, that would make sense.
But
Maybe
it was
just
good. It was
help
like
him
Javon
out.
was like, wait a minute, you talking a bunch of smack. Like they didn't even consider you to go on John Cena's last match. I'm on SmackDown and Raw and NXT this week. What are you doing? Nobody even cares about you. I was like, what are we doing? This is vicious. Like
That's just mean.
we're cutting deep. But you know, Ricky can cut a promo. He can handle himself. So, but yeah, sadly for me, I wanted a little more. I wanted a little more from that thing because I'm proud of Homegirl.
I've
I'm
not
glad
watched
she's in that spot.
So I'll get to watch an NXT, and I'll let you know how I feel about it next week.
Yeah, Tatum's promo with the chainsaw. Yeah, letting her run wild on NXT with a chainsaw. Very interesting choice. Very scary.
So right now, how many titles, championships are from TNA are held by NXT talent?
I don't know. I will actually look this up though.
Because I don't know if I mentioned this. I think I did a couple of weeks ago. Probably I did. I think there will be a moment where there will be these just crazy, title dropping back to TNA, and it will be kind of like if they don't do it.
Stax is
Gradually-
the only one that has one
okay.
right now.
Okay, so it's fine because then
So yeah, you got Kaz with the world title, Li Ying Li with the Knockouts World Championship, the women's title, Leon Slater, who we're just talking about with the X Division, but he's appearing more on NXT than TNA right now, and he was on Cena's last show. He's the only TNA talent on Cena's last show, which is huge. Stax has the international title. He's a NXT guy. The Hardys have the World Tag Team Championship, and the Inspiration has the Knockouts Championship.
Well,
But there's so many belts. I mean, like all the Evolve belts are showing up now on NXT. Then you have all the NXT titles showing up different places. It's a lot. They're all over the place. There's so many belts in the world these days.
Yeah, everybody has a belt.
But I'm going to say this about belts. I love what the tag belts are doing for the women in AEW right now. It's making a lot more women feel a lot more relevant, which was exactly the point. Like that Marina Shafir match tonight, like I felt like it had relevance. When I see Megan Bain on social media, she still has relevance now. And I think it's because this whole tag tournament thing actually worked. Like the experiment worked. And Harley Cameron is everywhere. I mean, she is a media darling, and it is good for the company. It's good for business. She's super duper entertaining, and she's just everywhere with her damn puppets and whatnot. Like she's been on a bunch of TV shows this week and just doing media and press, and her social media stuff goes viral all the time. She is good for business.
This is so I have a drop, and I know I'm gonna get some kind of hate here, but and it's not entirely bad. It's just that I'm not as excited about World's End as I was about Full Gear.
Well, they haven't announced anything for it.
Well,
That's the weird part.
They already have everything they want. Like, okay, so you said they we were talking on the prep before the show. You said they only had 4 matches. No, they have 8. All right. But one of the matches, it's basically a continuation of the other matches because they have the semifinals of Takeshita and Okada, and then they have Fletcher and Moxley, and then whoever wins of all of those will face each other in the final.
So that's 3 matches right there.
That's 3 matches. And then you have Darby Allin versus Gabe Kidd. Is that a thing? I didn't even know. I don't know why. Is that happening? I don't know. That's what is here. And then you have FTR with Stokely versus the Bang Bang Gang with Ace Austin.
Okay.
And then you have the women's AEW Women's World Tag Team Champions. Babe Sograd versus Mercedes and Athena.
That's a lot of gold in that match, bro. There's a lot of gold.
Well, but also like pause here. If we continue the, downward slide or whatever you want to call it for Mercedes, we already know who's going to win. And also, you don't want to take the belts right away from these women. So I don't know. That kind of
maybe, but also, how many times are you going to bring Athena up and put her on a pay-per-view and not give her a big win? I don't even care about the Mercedes part of it.
No.
Bad for Athena. Let her carry around 2 belts again. Like,
doesn't she have 2 belts? Because she has the regular one and then the Eternal or whatever it's called, the other one.
Well, yeah, like she made up the Forever Championship or whatever.
Yeah. And then you have Chris Statlander versus Jamie Hayter. That's a singles match for the women's.
And I have a little bit of an issue with that. Like, I get it, but also,
that's my point.
Tonight, their promo tonight.
I have not seen that. So I will go back and watch it. But that is the only thing. I hope tomorrow I'm not gonna do anything. All my social media posts are ready.
Right.
I'm gonna eat like a maniac later on tonight. I'm gonna wake up at noon. I probably already watched Stranger Things. I already watched Pluribus because it was like uploaded. Like
I haven't watched Pluribus yet. I'm waiting for the whole thing to drop.
Oh, the whole thing is on, so I need you to
now?
watch it so we can talk about it.
But I'm also rewatching Stranger Things so that I can watch all of that soon.
You're never gonna get there. But tomorrow I will watch the rest of the wrestling that I have not watched, and I'm hoping that I get sold on doing a live stream on Saturday for.
Well, I'm doing it because I bailed on the last 2. So Bear Brandon's going to come for that one. I don't know if Comatose is going to be around. I don't know if he gets the AEW pay-per-views. I know he gets all the WWE stuff, so he's down to do those.
We'll have to ask him. But
we will have some kind of roundtable here on Saturday. So stop through. Come join the fun.
As of right now, I'm not entirely, because then I'm going to start getting fucking tweets and emails and shit. And I'm not entirely I'm not as excited as I was for Full Gear. I thought they put all the meat in the charcoal, and we're kind of,
Okay, but let me say this. I got to say that MJF coming back definitely made me want to see the main event. I've been having a few issues with the Hangman of it all, and I don't dislike Hangman. Please don't think that I dislike Hangman. I don't. There's just certain things about the presentation that don't work for me. I'm entitled to my opinion. Like,
there are a couple of clips out there on Instagram that will say otherwise, but okay.
But listen, the way it was positioned tonight, with Swerve doing more of the talking and Hangman being more of the muscle and just choking out MJF, I loved it. That worked for me. Like, if we're going to have some kind of Wonder Twin powers activating between Swerve and Hangman, this is the dynamic I want. And then let them muscle up on each other a little bit down the line. But for a little while, like, let's see Swerve in the driver's seat a little bit. And then maybe let's flip it around and see Hangman in the driver's seat. Let's not always have both of them on equal status, though, because I don't think that works. I think that becomes uninteresting. I think it's better when there's some back and forth. And I really liked the way that they worked together tonight, where they didn't let MJF get a word in. Like, he got his promo. It was time for them to get a little of their heat back. And I thought Swerve did a great job. Also, go to Swerve's social media right now. what is this man doing? He is lifting real heavy. He's doing some very strange body things right now because he is not going for looks, which in the past, when he gets himself in shape and whatever, he's going for power right now. He's got the big round gut, doesn't care. He does not have the 6-pack abs. But that dude is like doing Russian lifts with like 390. It's crazy. Go on Swerve social media and somebody tell me what the hell is Swerve doing? Like, my man is bulking for power and strength right now, not to have the physique.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing right now.
You're going for power.
I'm going for power.
That's what I tell people when I just miss a few days. I'm like, yeah, I got a lot of power in here.
No.
But we'll see. Like,
well, okay, this is the thing. And again, I might be wrong. I might get to the pay-per-view and it might be a banger.
I mean, they typically are.
Well, yeah, but my fear, this is the real fear that I have. It usually happens like this. I go into the pay-per-view and I'm like, oh my God, it's going to be 12 hours of wrestling. And I'm okay with that. I'm already prepared. Kidneys are ready. Not a lot of, heavy liquids, not a lot of Coca-Cola. Just, but then you have, out of those 8 matches, 4 of them are spectacular.
Right.
Or like there is one that you go like, oh my God, this is crazy. And I wasn't expecting that one to be this great.
Well, I mean, but again,
I
you also
don't know if I have that on this one. And that's my
when you
problem.
read the whole card, it's already feeling like, there's some filler in here. Like, why are we doing some of these matches?
And I'm okay with people taking, like these are holidays, right? They have these shows done last week.
Right.
By the way, no spoilers out there. That was pretty cool. Not a lot.
I love what Tony Khan did with that. I love the fact that Tony Khan put his foot down and said, hey, dirt sheet guys, hey, websites and whatever. Like, look, we got to pre-tape some shows this week. We have TV partners. Like, can you please not report the stuff? We know it's going to get out. That's fine. But can people in the business, you want favors from us? Well, we're asking a favor from you. Don't put our spoilers out. Don't print a bunch of stuff about what happens on our show. And the mainstream dirt sheets, which it's hard to even call them mainstream, but did not report stuff. Like, I get a lot of wrestling on my feed, and I did not have stuff ruined this week at all. Like, it was still plenty of wrestling journalism. I heard one little thing on Busted Open, believe it or not, of all places, when Thunder was on there with what's his face, and she was pressing him about something. He was like, well, I don't want to ruin it, but I know kind of where this is going because they already taped this and I know what happened. But, I think Robin was actually there or maybe, I don't know. Anyway, but like, they did great. I love that. I love a week where, it was WWE taped some stuff and AEW had to tape
that's my
some
point.
stuff.
Like, this is
the way it should be.
This is the holidays. These people are real human beings. I'm very happy that, Bandido, Hechicero, all the homies got to spend time with their families. And, it might feel a little bit like, the people that are going to be working on Saturday, they're having to take that load of work on them. And that's okay. And I'm pretty sure there will be at least, and I know this sounds critical, but it's not, there will be one match there that will blow our minds. And then I'll be like, yeah, I was wrong. And, who knows? It might be the Samoa Joe, Strickland, Hangman Adam Page, MJF match. Or, it might be, I don't know about, like, it might be the Women's World Tag Team Championship. Because, you have to establish it. You have to establish, because you already have the championship, and it already gave a lot. It has already done a lot for the women. Like, it created a division.
Well, and they're going to get time, so hopefully they use it.
And they are going to, yeah. And I don't know if this is how it's going to work out, but apparently they are co-main events. So I don't know if that's how it's going to go. But I think that that will happen, and then I'll be like, oh man, I was wrong. I was wrong on Wednesday, and I will come back here and with antennas or whatever, I will be like, I was wrong. It was a great show, and whatever. Move on.
I think there's some good stuff to be expected. I don't know if I can say the same for Wrestle Kingdom. I mean, you're almost really looking at a one-match show at this point. It's Tanahashi versus Okada. It'll be a great retirement match, but realistically, they got one knee between the two of them. Like, what are we even expecting out of that? Tsuji versus Takeshita, that'll be the Young Buck powerhouse workhorse match, but also, I'm more looking forward to Takeshita versus Okada down the line.
It's kind of sad. It's the 20th version of it. It seems like very.
Yeah, Wolf versus Evil, meh. Then you got a bunch of these four-way schmozzy matches with like Fujita, Ishimura, Sho, and Desperado. Like, that's a meh to me. You've got the what never
2,500 people on the same show on the same
right now. I do find it interesting that Andrade El Idolo is now in this match, in the special 10-man tag match.
Why on this one? That's crazy. Why wouldn't you put him on the? No, no. So, 10-man tag match. That's the Bullet Club versus United Empire. No, I was talking about the never open weight 6-man tag team.
No, yeah, he's not in that one. That one's the crazy, like,
that's like 25 people on that.
I mean, but this is another thing we're doing here. They're doing the old WWE thing where this is why WWE went to 2 nights. They're smashing everyone in there. Like, really? You're going to put former champ Zack Sabre Jr. in a trios, but it's also trios where you're facing like 7 other trios. Like, what are we doing here? This is just schmozzy. This is not, I don't know. Yeah. I don't get it. Anyway, I have serious issues with this Wrestle Kingdom card. It's normally something I'm very excited for at this time of year. I'm sure when Byron is back, he will tell us all about it because he pretty much only watches Japanese wrestling at this time of year. What's up, Gote? Merry Christmas, because it's already Christmas is almost over down there.
Yeah, it's like 24 hours.
I believe Meefloaf told us to tell everyone from Australia to fuck off or something. I don't know. Something along those lines.
He said something like that.
I don't want to misquote him, but also I don't necessarily want to quote him either because I don't want to go to hell. All right. The last thing I want to talk about, Tony, before we get to this amazing interview with Alvaro.
Interview. Wow.
It's early, but it's also late. So the last thing that we have to discuss is this Sports Illustrated Pro Wrestling Awards for 2025.
That's right.
The first place I saw it was Tony Khan. And Tony Khan, of course,
AEW's website.
Only posted the AEW wrestlers that were on the list, but there's a reason for that because AEW actually dominated this list in a big, big way. And they also dominated the media cycle with this. I consider this a big win for AEW. I think they trounced WWE in these awards. There's a reason for it. And it's also not necessarily indicative of the actual industry, but it is indicative of, I think, some problems that WWE has right now that they need to solve. So let me go down some of these awards for you. Sports Illustrated Pro Wrestler Awards for 2025. Men's Wrestler of the Year, Hangman Adam Page. You know why? Because he was the one that got the big win over Moxley that everyone wanted to see lose. And it played like a big win. Women's Wrestler of the Year, Mercedes Moné. Very interesting. But I think in a year where you don't have Rhea Ripley strapped up, you had some wonkiness with the Tiff Stratton and Charlotte thing. You don't have, Steph Vaquer's only been on the scene for a certain amount of time. Like, WWE didn't have anything solidified. Mercedes Moné was solidified the entire year at AEW, even without.
She's got more belts than anybody on the planet. So
right,
yeah. Even if you want Stephanie to be competing,
and even if you don't like the storyline or you don't like how it's going, it's been a more solid part of the AEW product. Breakout Star of the Year, and this one I 150 million% agree with because I felt like he was the breakout star of last year. Kyle Fletcher. Guy has not stopped. You know, he has gone balls to the wall the entire year, and he was even out injured for 2.5, 3 months, and most people don't even remember that because he's been such a baller this year. Best in-ring performer, Will Ospreay, absolutely, because he's the best in-ring wrestler on the planet. Now, is he the best wrestler on the planet total package, as in promos, putting butts in seats, selling merch? No. Is he the best in the ring? I think right now he is. Now, here's an interesting one for you. Match of the year goes to WWE. Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair from WrestleMania. A match that I absolutely hated the build for, because it was just the storyline was just they were all catty bitches. Like, we can't give the ladies a better storyline than this.
I remember that complaint. Yeah.
But the match itself, it was pretty damn good. I don't know if it was match of the year.
I don't know if it was match of the year. Yeah,
that's a little suspect. But hey, I guess you got to give one to WWE. Promotion of the year from Sports Illustrated. That covers WWE all the time. We just showed Sports Illustrated Mexico where they're having a big AAA WWE on the thing on the cover, but they gave it to AEW.
Yeah.
Interesting. Show of the year, AEW Double or Nothing. Story of the year, Hangman Adam Page's redemption arc. Interesting. It did resonate with a lot of people. Rivalry of the year, Hangman Adam Page versus Jon Moxley. Again, that is in line with their other thinking. Another one here that I completely agree with that goes to WWE for the heel turn of the year. And you know this was impactful because she's not even wrestling anymore and won't be for a while, goes to Naomi. Caution tape and all. Naomi gets heel turn of the year. Totally deserves it. It was a comeback, heel turn, and just magnificent effort all around for her. However, the comeback performer of the year goes to another WWE performer, Ilya Dragunov. And that's not a terrible call. Like, he's been putting in some really good work. Best on the microphone goes to Toni Storm.
Of course.
I hope that she is sharing that award with a certain RJ City who writes all that stuff for her. I mean, she writes a lot of it too, but the two of them together are timeless Toni Storm. Let's be honest. It is not just her. That is a creation of both of them. And a little bit of Tony Khan thrown in there from time to time as well. But absolutely great work, because when Tony is doing a promo, you're always invested. Tag team of the year, and this is an interesting one. I don't know if I agree with it, even though I love these guys. FTR.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
I want them to be the tag team of the year, but I don't know that they are. That's what I'll say about that one. And the 2025 Legacy Award goes to John Cena.
Of course.
So again, yeah, Kyle is amazing. And yes, of course, Meef, always sending you special wishes down under there. Brodito, what the F? Yeah, Brodito had a big year. I just think it started a little too late. I think if you'd started it maybe 2 months sooner, it might have been them.
I don't know.
I don't know. The Usos are back together. It's probably them again now. Because Jay went all the way to the top, and now he's right back.
I'm just happy they, after their tag team wins and all that stuff, and losing the belts for Brodito, I'm just very happy that, you know, they continue the push for Bandito, because
he's got the Dynamite Diamond ring now, which
sure, that's important, but he's still the ROH World Champion. Let's not forget that's the other company they have. That should be merit enough to still getting pushed, even if they don't have, you know, a channel to showcase ROH.
But I think he is still getting pushed. He's got the Dynamite Diamond ring, which guarantees him a title match after this 4-way thing. That it makes me feel like it's going to be MJF, because then the ring would play that this is the only other person that's won the ring besides him.
That makes sense.
And then, you know, MJF is going to have some animosity towards that. So that makes me feel like it's kind of a spoiler that he's going to win the 4-way, but we'll see. Maybe not. I would strap MJF up immediately. I think that AEW needs that boost. I think they need him in the public eye, in the media right now. As much as I love Samoa Joe, I think Hangman did a good job of being the face of the company for a little bit. As much as I think Swerve is going to have another go round at some point in time, MJF is the guy that will boost the numbers.
I think he has the media presence that is needed right now, especially when you're talking about all these things that WWE / AAA, because now AAA for me is so important that it is in the mix of the conversation. Whereas in, AEW, CMLL, I think it still takes a backseat to ROH. So that's even further down. Anyways, I think that MJF it will be great. I'm not so sure though that they've done it in the past, but I'm so sure that they just like this will be the moment to transition the champion. If it is, then MJF is a perfect choice, and I would love to see Bandito, not immediately, but maybe what was that, Revolution? Because Mexicans in Los Angeles, that's gonna be.
I don't know.
Crazy.
I think it's at a regular branded episode.
Oh, really?
In January.
Is that how
it's
it
like
has
a
to play?
January 17th thing.
Is it? Oh, okay.
I'm not sure. They announced it, and I heard him say it, and I was like, wait, that's not a pay-per-view. Whenever they said it.
Okay.
It's one of those.
Oh wait, so is it gonna be like in Australia? Is that what it is?
Maybe, I don't know.
They do a whole tour in Australia 2 weeks from now.
And I mean, to me, I'd put the belt back on MJF by then. I don't know what his other media schedule is like, but I'm sure whenever the movie comes out that he just filmed, he's going to have to go back and do media again. I know Samoa Joe's got to go and do another, the Twisted Metal got picked up for a third season, so he's got to go and do that soon, I'm sure. So I think, Swerve, I think, has still been nursing some injuries a little bit. Like, I'm sure he can go fine in a 4-way match, but I don't know if he's the guy that you want the belt on right now. And Hangman may have a couple of little bumps and bruises there as well. So I kind of feel like, really, for a lot of reasons, it should be MJF right now.
Yeah.
And then maybe you do a thing with him and Ospreay when Ospreay gets back. That could be super duper fun.
Or you can put it on Bandito, and he can be two belts. And
I could see it. But I think he's going to need somebody to. I don't know if him and Brody Lee are the microphone combination that you want to really push the company right now. I think MJF might be a little bit better than that.
Oh, well, yeah, of course. But
match wise, I think I would love to see Bandito get a shot at it. I know Tony Khan's a big fan of his, and he's the nicest freaking guy in the world. He's nice.
Yeah, he's very nice.
Such a good dude. And he's jacked.
Well, I'm going to call it right now. I am calling for Bandito to be AEW's world champion, whatever the reign might be. It will just first Mexican champion. That would be great. Is it right? It will be the first male Mexican champion, right? We don't have.
You're saying Pentagon never got it?
Oh,
you're saying Phoenix never got it?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Wait, you're saying Andrade never got it?
Oof.
Roosh?
Oof.
Man, really?
There's a lot of Mexicans that work there, and they haven't.
We're not even talking a lot of Mexicans. We're talking a lot of top guys. Those are top guys. How come none of them has gotten a shot?
Yeah.
And honestly, no offense to Bandito, but one of those guys, like build wise and size wise, even mic skill wise, one of those guys should have had that belt by now. Come on, TK. What are we doing here? Got to call you out on this one, brother.
Yep. Just for my people, and just the best workers out there, like
for the people. I'm saying these guys are top guys. The same way you eventually recognize that Stefan, Mr. Swerve, was not just some tag team with Keith Lee and that he actually deserved a shot. You should have realized that with Roosh by now. He stayed loyal. He stayed there. His brothers have gone off and done this, that, and the other thing. Like, he's been there, dude. He's ready to go. Why are we not giving this guy a chance? And he's good on the mic too. He can heal a crowd. He would be a great heel champion. Don't know why we're not doing that. Penta, yes, his Spanish wasn't great. He wasn't working on his English as much as he should have when he was at AEW. We all know this, but at the same time, his promos were still fire. Those of us who have crappy Spanish still love his promos. The dude has real charisma. And the fact that he didn't get a shot to wear the big belt in AEW while he was there for 4 years. Come on. He was one of the biggest stars in the world. He could have totally given that company a great 3 or 4 month run. Maybe not all year long, but Abrahantes could have cut his promos for him. He could have cut a couple.
Oh, you could have done a lot of things. I mean, it's just even just statistically, you need to have a Mexican champion because that is where most of you people are coming from to work. And again, those are the top quality wrestlers you have. Yes, of course. Like, of course, I will defend because I am Mexican. But
look, they have had one. They have had a Mexican world champion. Her name was Thunder Rosa.
Well, yes, and she should be champion again soon because she's still repping a high level, and as I think she does the most work out of anyone, and I'll put that to the test.
She's a great ambassador,
media wise.
Yeah. And I think that's also what you need. And that could be a little bit of the problem with Banditos. Like, can Bandito do what someone like a Thunder Rosa does? But also, I'm looking at Chris Statlander right now, and I'm just like, oh, Chris, you need to give Thunder a call. Because of the stuff that Thunder was saying when we were interviewing her of how she didn't feel like she was ready when she was a champion. Like, the promo skills weren't as good as they are now. Her media savvy wasn't as good as it is now. There's a lot of things that you can tell she wishes she knew then what she knows now. And I feel like, oh, poor Stat, she's going to be the same position. Like, 3 months after that belt is gone from around her waist, she's going to be like, damn it, I get it now. A lot of stuff is going to click, and it's probably clicking, but it's all coming so fast at her. Her promo tonight needed a little bit of work. It did. Like, they did the live promo thing. Jamie Hayter saved it a little bit, but there'll be fire in the ring, but they need a little something. They need to figure out how to help her be the face of the company right now. And Hayter is doing the right thing. The other women need to lift her up, and they need to give her the support that she needs. They need to give her all the right action. They need to give her the fire in the promos. They need to give it to her in the ring. Like, let's make Chris Statlander into the champion that she should be. Let's give her all the help that she needs. Let's get her the promos in the back. Let's get RJ writing for her or somebody coaching her through this stuff. Like, is she getting that stuff? Because I don't know if I feel like she is.
Yeah, it's hard to be exposed out there as a champion. Like, I know that for a fact because of my work with Thunder, but it's doable. It's just that you have to be prepared for it and you have to work. Now, if you're doing it while you're champion, super hard if you don't get support. But like on and not to go back to the same point again, but if Thunder was to be champion right now, just the backing that she's got right now, media wise, in the United States, her connections to diplomacy in the United States and Mexico, all the I don't like to call charity, all the charity work that she does, she is, the perfect spokesperson for a brand or for a company, especially if she's the champion. So
she's also the only active AEW wrestler that is on Busted Open or Pro Wrestling Nation 24/7, whatever they're calling it now, because she does multiple different programs. They have more than just the Busted Open show now. But I mean, like, her media presence is through the roof. You want champions like that, like MJF, like his media presence. Like, he goes on all the podcasts. He can go to Hollywood. He can be on Entertainment Tonight and TMZ and those other places. Thunder can be on Busted Open. And when she goes out and does these, charity events and other stuff like that, like, you need people like that. Hangman is this huge activist, but I don't see him out doing events like that. I see Brody King doing more stuff like that.
That's true. And I see a lot of the from that perspective. I see a lot of the issue being, well, I want to do good, but I don't want people to think that I'm doing it just to get fame. But that's not how it works anymore. You have to bring eyes to what you're doing so that it projects further. And that's something that we had to learn quickly. And that's something that they have to learn also. And it's not always about, doing benefits for causes and stuff like that, because it is also about, leveraging your position as a champion to further your own career. So
Well,
because
I
that
know
works for the
AEW's
AEW too.
I know AEW still does this stuff, but I'll be honest, since Cody and Brandy have left, I don't feel it the same way.
I didn't feel it. Yeah,
I know they still have those programs, but like when they were there, Brandy was hooking me up as a person in the media with Culture City, and like I knew what they were doing. She was reaching out to all of us in the media all the time because I was at NFL at the time. But they wanted to combine AEW with the, altruistic things that they were doing in the community, along with the product and trying to promote the product on TV. There was just a lot of that synergy going on. And the people who were champions were getting put out there in a certain way, and everybody was doing media a certain way. And it really worked. I think the impression of the company was very favorable with the smart marks, with other media, with, Cody was doing that big whatever show on TNT. Like there was crossover, there was media presence. And it felt right. It felt natural to the product that they were part of the Warner family. And maybe part of it is the bigger issues with Warner Brothers at this point too. Maybe Warner isn't feeling so much like a family these days. I don't know. I can only say that I'd like to see some more of that, and I'd like them to groom their champions to be a part of that. If Chris Statlander is your champion, great. We all love her. We think she's great in the ring. Give her all of the resources to be that champion on every level. Like if she comes in as champion and she's not quite Cody Rhodes, okay, where's the machine to make her into that?
Right.
Let's teach her how to do it. It's a teachable skill. She's a very smart girl. She's a really hard worker. Let's get her working on some of this stuff.
All of this is doable. That's something, and this is something that working and having the right proper team is doable, because this is a learnable, like you said, it's a learnable skill. You can learn how to be QB1. That is doable. Yes, because you already have the most important part, which is the skill in the ring and the ability to become champion because people love you. But you do need to have the backup.
And there's bumps in the roads too sometimes. Yes. Like I look at what WWE did with Tiffany Stratton. Like it wasn't perfect, but they groomed her the whole time. She was getting coached the whole time. They put her into a couple of tough situations. Her and Charlotte didn't really jive, but they still stuck with her. They kept teaching her. They didn't make her drop immediately. They kept her out there. They kept it going. They corrected the issues. They used them as teachable moments, and they just kept rolling with it. They're trying to make her a better performer, and she's barely been doing this for a second, But like, look, if the company's going to have faith in them, and I think they should have faith in Chris Statlander, let's give her all the tools. Let's give her the resources. All right, we've talked enough, Tony. We got to get to our homeboy. What do you want to say about this guy before we run this thing?
Oh, man. Well, first of all, he's a friend. He is the new voice because La Voz is Carlos Cabrera. So he's the new voice in Spanish. I think what he brings to Lucha Libre Pro Wrestling, it's different. It's a brand new voice. It's a brand new way to experience Lucha Libre.
And it's exciting, damn it.
He is so good. And let me tell you, it makes it feel fresh. And also, he knows the damn words in both languages. Alvaro Riojas, man, we had the best time in this interview. He's an emotional guy. He's tough, but he's very emotional. You'll get to see what I'm talking about. I enjoy this so much as I enjoy talking to him, regularly. I think this is a great interview. It really brings us out who he really is, beyond that good narration in Spanish. So I hope you guys enjoy this interview, and we hope to have him back again soon because there is so much more to talk to him about wrestling. And
absolutely,
this was a delight. I hope everybody else.
For all of our English fans that don't listen to the Spanish commentary, listen to this guy now, because his story is worth hearing, and it's very fun to hear how people get to where they got to in the wrestling business. And as Alvaro will tell you, wrestling saved his life. So without further ado, let us get to our interview with AEW Spanish announcer Alvaro Riojas. We are joined now by, I got to say, one of my favorite people at AEW. Actually, one of the first people that I really met from the new AEW that I didn't know before AEW. And I discovered Alvaro back when Thunder Rosa was out injured after her championship, and she was on Spanish commentary on Collision on Saturdays. And, you know, being a friend, I just had to support. So I hit that button, that special button that y'all need to be hitting on that remote that says SAP. Hit the button and you get to hear our homie Alvaro Riojas. Welcome to Mass Mats and Mayhem, brother. It's so great to have you here. How you doing today?
Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Tony. I'm doing great, man. Thank you for the introduction. And yeah, man, that's true. Thunder was doing the commentary by my side. And boy, that's really a great time that we spent together where we really got to know each other. And, you know, through her, I got to meet you.
Well, I got to tell you, one of my favorite things that you guys used to do, and the thing I miss the most about her doing commentary isn't even necessarily the commentary. I loved when you guys used to just randomly walk around the arenas and talk to people and do that little pre-show thing. Like, man, that I miss that a lot.
Well, yeah, and to be honest, I miss it too. And it's only because, you know, Thunder, you know, she has the guts to do it. You know, she's not going to shy away. No le da miedo. And, you know, I would put these ideas out there and she's like, well, let's just do it. You know, I've always been an ideas guy. So here I am like talking. And she's like, put your words to action and let's go do it. So yeah, she would just grab me by the wrist, hit the halls, and dude, everybody was swarming over her. So being a part of that was just great.
I mean, as Tony can tell you, I'm pretty sure she doesn't know she's famous.
Oh, she does not know.
Dude, it's wild that, like, even the fact that when my wife and I have brought her into town in the Valley, you know, we asked her, is it okay? You know, we're going to get you a hotel. She's like, dude, I'll stay with you guys. You don't need to get me a hotel. Like, such a great person, such a sweetheart. And like you guys said, she does not know that she's famous. Like, you're a star, dude.
And Fortuna is definitely something I want to talk about as well. But I got to do this. We always throw a little twist into these interviews where we don't necessarily start at the beginning, and we'll get to all of it. I want to know how you got into this whole crazy world, what you love about it, why you even do this, because anybody who's in wrestling in any substantial fact, you know, any way, really has something wrong with them typically. Let's just be honest. Like, if you have chosen this lifestyle, you're a little cracked somewhere, and we want to get to the bottom of that, damn it. But I'm going to start you here. The same way I start with a lot of people is, I want to know what the ending to the story is first, Alvaro. I want to know where you're trying to get to, what you see in the future, how you see this wrapping up for you at the end. What's going to be the legacy of Alvaro Riojas? Where are you trying to go with this whole thing that you're doing with your indie promotion, with commentary, with being a personality yourself in wrestling? You even take a few bumps every now and then too, don't you?
I do, and that's just because it's once you have been bitten by the wrestling bug, it's you get that itch every now and then, and that's going to be from the time you started till the very end, and that's the way I feel. And to be honest with you, I hadn't quite put a lot of thought into what I want the ending to look like until you asked me that. So I got my brain working pretty fast right now. And I think at the end of the day, what I would love to create is inspiration, because something about pro wrestling pulled me in. Something about pro wrestling has pulled millions of people in, and we get to be a part of that. And having the platform of being an AEW Spanish commentator, I feel that there's so much opportunity to create inspiration and to inspire people to want to be a part of this wonderful world of pro wrestling, man. And on the local level, especially, like, I want to inspire my community, you know, because where I come from, you don't quite hear that there's people within the wrestling world that are out here in big companies like AEW, you know. And I want to just show them that it's possible, that anybody can be a part of this. If you set your mind right, if you follow the steps, put in the work, all of that. I guess at the end of the day, I want to inspire. Okay,
you said put in the work. I gotta explain some of this stuff to people too, because right now there's a lovely team for the Spanish Announce Group at AEW, but there have been times where there were several commentators, and then there have been times when there was Alvaro, and then there's been times when people are changing and this, that, and the other thing. This man has done, like, everybody knows, Tony Khan does not book a short show, especially on a pay-per-view. And there have been times when it's just Alvaro sitting there. How do you talk through 5 hours of wrestling? Do they give you bathroom breaks? It's like NFL Red Zone, man. How do you do that?
Well, crazy. I mean, I'm trying to get a sponsorship through Depends diapers, adult diapers. Just because. No. Jokes aside, one thing that I learned coming into the business when I first started many years ago is the one thing that's very, very valuable to promoters, to wrestlers, to everybody, not just in wrestling, but just in life in general, is reliability. You need to be reliable. That holds a lot of value. So yeah, there's been times, I remember when we used to film Ring of Honor episodes, AEW Dark out in Orlando from the Universal Studios, one of the studios out there. And man, those were long days. You're talking about like 8 hours of nonstop commentary. And yeah, me tocaba solo. Sometimes I'd be out there by myself. And the thing is that once that red light is on, and I'm sure it's the same for a lot of these wrestlers, once they walk through the curtain, you're in work mode, you're in the zone, you're focused. And you just don't think about quitting when you're like that. Luckily, we have commercial breaks where we can, if the restroom's around the corner, we'll just run up there. We're not on camera, so we're on the side whenever we're doing commentary live. So that's one of the benefits about that. But pay-per-views, for example, no commercial breaks. That's where it's a little tough. But we're a team, and if we're not out there by ourselves, we do, tag in and tag out when we have to.
Okay, so now I do want to get to the beginning of this. Like, first of all, you have a perfect voice for doing wrestling commentary in general, and that's, and everybody can't say that. Some of us have whiny voices, and like I've learned to talk with a radio voice. It takes like it's not inherent for a lot of people, but you have that voice. But how did you get to that position at AEW specifically? Like, what was the transition? Were you doing stuff in wrestling before that? Who gives you a call? Like, how does one find themselves in the chair on the Spanish announce desk for AEW?
Well, I'm gonna go a little further back than that, because you just reminded me of something that I hadn't thought about in a long time. When I was in high school, when I was a freshman in high school, we had this English teacher who would have us read Macbeth, for example, in the classroom, and he would decide who reads, and he would always ask me to read a certain part because he liked my voice. He said that I had a radio voice, and I didn't care much for that comment. At the time, I was a shy kid in that classroom, and I didn't want to read, but of course I would do my part because I knew I could do it well. As far as the voice, I wanted to be a voice actor when I was a kid, just because I loved the way cartoons brought out, there was so much animation in the sound of their voices that I would mimic them and things like that. Nice. So having to read a part in a classroom, I guess unintentionally, I would make the radio voice, or at least I knew I could. And so he was the first person that ever brought that to my attention. But again, I never put too much thought into it.
You didn't think it was cool?
I thought, I just thought, like, okay, nice. Like, I never thought maybe this could be a career. Maybe this could be a job at some point. Never considered that. Aside from that, being a voice actor always interested me. I've never done anything with voice acting. However, when I was a wrestler, I grew up in a border town close to Mexico. So as a wrestler, I learned to work in the American way, which is slightly different than Lucha Libre. But then I would cross the border to wrestle in Lucha Libre matches and learn the lingo, learn the body language, learn the moves, all of that. And aside from that, being a fan of Lucha Libre, CMLL, AAA, as a kid, growing up in a border town, you had both channels. So you would get all the wrestling that existed in Mexico, in the US. So I had all of that up here. Never thought in my wildest dreams that I would have to use it at any point. But I had it locked in. And there was a point in 2015 where I got contacted by a friend saying, Ring of Honor is coming to San Antonio for a pay-per-view, and they need a Spanish commentator. They asked if I knew anybody that spoke Spanish. You do. At the time, I was wrestling and using a lot of Tex-Mex, you can say, because I would cut promos in English but incorporate some Spanish in there. And so he's like, I mentioned you. I got a call from Alex Abrahantes, who now, he's the hype man, Alex, in AEW.
With the gloves, baby. With the gloves.
Yeah. He was doing commentary for Ring of Honor, and he's like, hey, they mentioned you to us. Have you ever done commentary before? I said, no, but I've been wrestling for X amount of years, and I've worked in Mexico. I know the lingo. He's like, we kind of want and need someone with experience, but we'll let you know. Long story short, he ended up calling me back saying, we're going to go with you and give you a shot. He liked my work. Ring of Honor liked my work. They wanted me for the next pay-per-view after that. This is 2015, but I needed to fly my own way out to Pennsylvania at the time. And, man, I don't know how I survived with the income I had before coming into work for AEW, because looking back, brother, I was broke. I could not even fly my way to Pennsylvania for the next Ring of Honor opportunity. The next opportunity didn't come up until 2016. And this time, Ring of Honor flew me to Concord, North Carolina for a pay-per-view. And again, after doing that pay-per-view, nothing came of it. This is 2016 now. 2 opportunities, no prior experience to doing commentary, but they were great experiences. After that, 2021, I meet my wife along the way. I get married. I buy a house. We move in. And
now you got responsibilities.
Yeah, now life's different.
Now you have to do it for real. Life is different,
brother. And I was trying to get back into wrestling. I had let it go for a few years due to an injury, and I met my wife at a perfect time where I didn't need to use wrestling as an escape. Sorry, I got emotional just because.
That's okay, man.
These are things that I took for granted for a long time. I didn't realize pro wrestling was there for me in some very tough times. So dealing with an injury and pushing through sucks. It hurts. But when you love wrestling so much, you go through it. And I was really having a hell of a year in 2019. Excuse me. And then I met my wife. And then I met my wife, and after meeting her, I realized, it's okay to step away. It's okay to recharge the batteries. So I took some time away, 2019, bought a house by 2021, responsibilities. And then, out of nowhere, I get a call from Alex saying, hey, man, an opportunity might come up. How have you been? First of all, he asked, how have you been? Have you been doing any commentary after 2016? I said, no, brother, but I am getting back into wrestling. I was really pushing hard, having a good 2021. And when this opportunity came up, I spoke to my wife, listen, I'm going to have to fly to Miami and give this a shot, because I feel like this is an open door that I need to walk through. And because, again, I don't know how we survived on the income we had back then. Because life was paycheck to paycheck, she tells me, if you have to fly your own way, I don't think we can do it. We have some money in the savings, but that's not for this. You can use it. We can go for it. But if nothing comes of it, if it's the same thing as before, then it's going to be hard to recover. And we were willing to take that chance. Luckily, AEW called and offered me, the flight out there and said, this is going to be your chance, your opportunity. No promises, right? So I did come in. I prepared on the way. Again, 2021, I came into Miami. I worked. And at the time, we were doing tryouts. The other gentleman that was working alongside me trying to get a position was a good friend of mine, Ricardo Rodriguez, of WWE fame. And, and working with him was a lot of fun, too. And this is both of us trying to find our way into AEW. And it was very intimidating, man, because everybody knew Ricardo. Everybody backstage, whenever we were working, all the fans would come by, take photos with him. And, I mean, I felt grateful to be working alongside him. but I had to keep in mind too, like we're both trying to, you know, cement our feet. And lucky for me, they called me back and the ball kept rolling and the rest is history. I apologize for making the short story long, but man, I hadn't really thought of the process too much, you know?
You know what I just realized through this conversation right now? I guess I haven't. Hi, everybody. Tony Allen here.
15 minutes in.
Yeah, I know. It's fine. I just realized, I think on Thunder Rosa's blog, there is the first interaction of you guys, at least at AEW, because she goes and talks to Ricardo, right? And then you're there, and then she, you know, she will put you on the spot without knowing you, like you like you're her like friend, like this, right? So it's like ven para acá, and I think I will have to go back and maybe find out footage, but I think I think she just goes like, and you're like, oh, he's deer in the headlights, like, oh, good commentary here in Spanish. Something else I gotta say, and this is something that I guess, especially us, you know, Mexican and Mexican descendant and Latino, man, we don't have to apologize for feelings, man. What you felt it's correct. You, of course, you're able to remember something, and it's a memory, and it brings you emotions, and emotions are okay. Just put it out there, not only for you, but for everyone that's listening or watching. You know, we always tend to apologize for our feelings. That's not a thing. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, and I do that. I do it myself. I'm not saying that I don't, but I do it, and then I'm like, wait, what the fuck am I? I'm sorry, I already cursed on the show. Why am I, you know, apologizing because I share a tear because I had a really tough moment, and also, I think, you know, we don't realize how broke we are until we get a steady paycheck. I know what you feel. I know the feeling, my brother. Man. Yeah. And like, oh my God, wait, I couldn't afford a flight? What? Yeah, now I have to fly. Now I have to get there. That's not even it is. I'm just very happy that you are blessed and that you are now on this path. There is something that, and I want to make a point here, and I know we will continue. I just wanted to have this little interruption, I guess. You are the voice. You are what people listen to, and there is a potential have more than like 600,000 souls can listen to you or will be impacted by what you say. And this market is huge, and there's a lot of people out there that don't understand that part, that once you're speaking and once it goes out there with the platform that AEW has, you are that voice alongside Carlos Cabrera, which I got to meet in London. Legend. And Ariel, who will interview later this week.
Great guy.
But that is the power that you have. That is, and also the responsibility, because you mentioned something. And I don't think that it doesn't go in my head. I've been a wrestling fan and Lucha Libre fan my whole life. Yeah. My mom is visiting because of the holidays, and she was just telling me the first time we went to a wrestling show, and I was like 4. So one of the things, and this is something that I admire of you, that I think is very important, it sets you apart. It's that you know the moves in both languages, right? And that is so complicated because I remember, and I'm not gonna name any names of people because some of them are friends, but I will be like, they will just come up with a word that like, wait, what I mean, like, what I mean, what is this? And of course, there's a, you know, how you gonna say tombstone and in Spanish, right? Or stunner, things like that. But the moves that are a trademark of Mexican Lucha Libre, they have gone into the US. Just keep it like that, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, and I was just, sorry to interrupt. I was just gonna say, I mean, there was a point where you could invent something. Ahora, at this point in time, pues ya no se puede porque ya han hecho todo. Pero there was a point, like in the 90s, for example, Carlos was a huge part of creating the foundation of what Spanish commentary should be. Even though CMLL and AAA had their Spanish commentary, when Carlos and Hugo came to the WWE, they really brought a new blueprint to what it should be like in the U.S. So they were calling the action of an American product with the Spanish voice, and it's for all of Latin America. And they really brought a great flavor and a great foundation that I feel that we kind of use today with AEW, with a mix of what CMLL was in the 90s, which was what I grew up on. Porque it's a different, if you watch the WWE in Spanish versus what CMLL was in the 90s, they're completely different products.
Oh yes, absolutely. Yeah.
But I love both, porque the storytelling of Hugo and Carlos and the action calls, the very sports-like drama that they yell over here at CMLL, that's what we kind of mix and blend with AAA. And I think there was a point where you could just call a move whatever. But nowadays, these moves have a name.
You know, that was the thing that's kind of my point. Like I moved back to the States with my family, and I was so used to hearing, you know, especially JR call, like, because he comes to like football, right? So it call every single segment and just like educate you while you're watching. And then I will go in, oh, Diosito Santo, ¿qué está pasando? No, él está pegando. So it was like, wait. So it was, and I think right now, especially because I will just, this is something that I realized with you, is I will just switch to the Spanish commentator just because I wanted to hear what you will say in a particular spot. I'm like, wait a minute. Well, what did Alvaro say here? And I was just, I've texted you about this, right? I sent you a message like, oh man, I was really good. I was really funny. Yeah. And then there's this other part that you do, which I think it's very unique. Like a moments, and I don't know if you will get in trouble for this or whatever, but you will like put parts of songs, especially when you were with Thunder, you will put parts of songs during the matches, and it was like, wait, nobody does that. That you are bringing the culture that is happening in Latin America, Mexico,
culturally relevant. It's great,
and bringing it in, and that is so smart, and that's something that, you know, I just had to mention here because I think, you know. But it is your personality, because when I got to know you a little bit better, that is just something you do, right? This is like, oh, I'm gonna mention this song because it's like it's like an echolalia, that's what they call it. You know, when you bring in a song into your conversation. But I think that's phenomenal. I think that's wonderful. Yeah.
And I think in those moments, it's experimental. Y lo digo así that it's experimental porque we don't necessarily, like, yes, Carlos created a blueprint when he was, you know, in the 90s, and now that he's here, we use that blueprint, but a lot of this stuff is still new when it comes to the Spanish commentary, not just with AEW, but just in the US. Spanish commentary on an American product in the US, completely new. And like you mentioned, Tony, like, it is a responsibility, and I feel like that I have a responsibility in representing where I come from the 956. And the 956 is big with the Mexican culture, intertwined with Texas and the US. So I bring in that Tex-Mex, which, I mean, for a long time, and even still today, in Latin pop culture, los mexicanos están arriba, you know, like, estamos en los top. Y
si no que ver el mapa.
Y muchos de ellos son del Valle, como there's this artist, he's a composer, Edgar Barrera, you know, I went to school with that kid, you know, and he's over here winning Grammys, and he's writing music for people like Bad Bunny and people like Grupo Frontera, you know, who are on the charts. So I know that the people that I'm trying to reach out to, my people in the US listening to the Spanish product, and people in Latin America, they listen to this music. And if this music to me pops in my head while I'm watching a certain moment and it fits perfectly, why not use it? I feel like it's gonna help connect. We have that responsibility to help bridge some of these things in pop culture that can be intertwined and intermixed.
I got to say this for me, my first exposure to Spanish commentary was Hugo and Carlos doing WWE in the 90s. I don't want to give away my age, but I was at Full Sail and I was living in Orlando.
We're all good.
Some of the WWE broadcasts were just them when I would turn them on, or when I would, you know what it was? You used to look through the TV guide back in the day and set your VCR to record stuff. Mm-hmm. Definitely dating myself now. But so sometimes it was like, oh, well, I taped that show in Spanish, so let me just watch it. And so I heard them doing that stuff back then in the day, and it was great. It was impassioned, and my Spanish, as Tony will tell you, is terrible, but my comprehension is better than I can ever speak.
He gets a pass.
So, but it influenced me to understand the passion that went into Lucha Libre, which I had just gotten into before that because I saw Rey Mysterio and Psicosis when they did the ECW stuff. So I had started to get into Lucha Libre too. And then it's like hearing these voices. I was piecing together Lucha Libre from the other side of the border, getting little pieces of it. And then finally, when the internet got better, I saw a ton of AAA and started watching that product some, and then CMLL later, and then just understanding a lot of the history, and then finally Lucha Underground for me. But what I always wondered when I was listening back then was, how do you guys keep the story in the same place as the guys who are doing the American commentary? The guys, because I'm assuming, I don't know if you have Tony Khan in your ear like they do, but like they have producers and Tony Khan in their ear and other people. And at WWE, it was Vince McMahon himself would sit at Gorilla, and he would, like Michael Cole tells amazing stories of like how he has to talk and say everything that's in the commercial block that's in front of him while Vince is just barking in his ear, telling him 15 different stories and getting all excited and animated, and, and he's still got to do the copy. And, but what's it like on the Spanish side of that? Like, how do you get the stories? How are you translating the same thing that, Excalibur is doing on the other side at the same time, and making sure that the stories line up for the Latino speaking viewership the same way it's lining up for the American viewership?
So before we get out there, we have production meetings that we go to.
First of all, people, AEW has production meetings.
Breaking news.
Yeah. So in these production meetings, there's a lot of talk about, in this segment, this is going to go on, and pretty much telling the story of what the episode is going to be like. And believe it or not, like these production meetings are not too revealing, but the story is very, very much explained. So then we get out there, and here's the kicker. And this is one thing that I had to learn quick. It's almost like hit the ground running, because when you sit down on the Spanish table, you put on those headsets. Not only do you have the producer who's giving us countdowns to commercial break and when we're coming back, also helping us in case we're lost on the, where we are in the segments. Pero we also have the English team constantly in our ear, and we hear the broadcast. We hear the English team while we're doing the commentary.
I did not
ourselves.
know that. That is
and
crazy.
when it comes to that, brother,
how does your brain not break? Because
if you're not prepared for it, cállate, like te pierdes. Pero once, yeah.
No, like I worked as a translator for courts and immigration and medical, and that is just two-way. That is just two-way. I have to do it real time sometimes, right? Because so somebody's speaking in English, and I will at the same exact time I have to translate into it. But I don't have another third voice telling me that I have to go to commercial.
Yeah.
How do you even juggle that? Is there like a superpower you develop, or like, is there a serum you get?
I'll be honest, it almost feels that way. Porque when I first started, well, granted, I was working for the government. I was taking calls for immigration. At home, I had a headset, so I was working with calls.
That's what I guess we all do that then.
Yeah, I guess we're doing the same thing.
It's just a Mexican superpower, huh?
Yeah. That's how we got ready for this.
Yeah.
Because by the time I got to AEW, like you said, we have the producer giving us the countdowns. We're translating the live promo word for word sometimes, and that's in itself is a little tough, because not everything translates as far as certain slang and certain phrases. they don't always translate. And when you're in the heat of the moment, you don't realize, oh, what he's saying is in parentheses, or what he's saying is, oh, that was a period. So we continue talking. And then we have the English commentary as well. Pero, pues, yeah, it's not easy. I think for me, for example, now it's almost like, I don't know if you guys have ever played baseball, and when you're at the batter's box and you have that tunnel vision. The ball's coming at you. You have the pitcher. You have the first baseman, second, shortstop, third. You have everybody out there, but your sight is on that ball. And that's all you're focused on. And I could relate it to that, where whatever's being fed to me that I need to translate is priority over the rest of the noise, because that's what it feels like sometimes, noise.
You guys also do something that I loved, and I didn't ever think about this till I saw you and Thunder doing it, is that when you guys go to the backstage interviews, you're translating those interviews real time as characters. And you also have to get out quickly, because you can't be 30 seconds behind when that commercial break hits, and all of those interviews go right into commercial. So it's really fun to hear you guys trying to rush the very end of it to catch back up. But you guys will pick different characters to read, and you guys are kind of reading in the character of that wrestler. So you're almost doing the voice acting that you talked about before that you always wanted to do, right?
Thank you. Yeah, you just pieced that together for me. Yeah. Because I feel, especially because we're backstage and we're either up on top at one of the suites doing the commentary there, or at ringside, or whatever the case may be. It just gives us something to look forward to. It's fun to tap into the role. When I was in high school, I was in one-act play, and just being able to be a different character. That's what pro wrestling is. When you're out there, you're either yourself with the volume up, or you're playing the role of something else or someone else. And this is just another opportunity for us to tap into that and give the audience as close to what's being fed in English, give it to them in Spanish, as close to that as we can. I mean, granted, we can never give the emotion that the performers are oozing out themselves, but we do try.
Well, I will argue that you do. I'm just saying, just for my perspective, because that it does create a difference. And again, I have this, bilingual brain, and and usually they have the promo in English, and then you guys are dubbing, which is what you're doing. You're dubbing in real time. Yeah. And I can turn off the English part and then just listen to you guys, and I still get the emotion and the message conveyed. So I will argue that you guys do it, and I think that also separates you from the other broadcasts, that you embody what the wrestling in turn is doing and saying. That is fantastic, to be honest. I would recommend everybody goes and watch that, even if you don't speak Spanish.
Even if you don't speak Spanish, one time you can live without Shivani and Excalibur for one night. Like, hit the button,
even if just for one match, just one match,
just hit the button. It's on your remote for a reason, man. It's the only clean-looking button on that remote over there that doesn't have the greasy fingerprints on it. Just hit that bad boy one time.
You are really dating yourself by the fact that you called the remote and the button on there.
I don't want to run out of time before we talk about this, so I'm going to throw this in right now. We got to talk about Frontera, because you have a wrestling promotion that you're running in McAllen, right?
Yeah, Fortuna Texas Wrestling, and Fortuna for short. And my wife and I started a podcast called Lucha por Lucha, and boy, have we found out that if you don't have a team, it's a little tough to make the time and make the space on the devices to download and cut and edit and all that stuff.
Don't we know about it, Tony?
We know.
So when we were doing this podcast, it was just because I wanted to stay connected to the local wrestling scene. I felt like there was still so much I could give, and I figured maybe giving wrestlers a place to talk freely, and myself too, to reconnect with some of these guys, to connect with some of the newer guys in my local area. So we started off as a podcast, and at the time with AEW, my schedule was a lot more free. I was doing only commentary on the weekends. So during the week, I had a lot of time on my hands. From the podcast, we decided, why don't we start, putting shows together? We decided to partner up with a local promotion and use their ring and their equipment use, our name, our income. We bring in the wrestlers and all of that. We created it for a way to bring the outside wrestling world down to the local area where these guys may or may not have opportunities to wrestle bigger names. But I at least wanted to create either one or one of many, So we created Fortuna Texas Wrestling and started running shows out of a place that meant a lot and still does to me and a lot of the local wrestlers, because for years we would run weekly shows there. I was just a wrestler at the time, and we were running these weekly shows out of this one theater, the historic Cine El Rey. And to bring wrestling back to it meant a lot to me and a lot to the wrestling community down in the Valley. So we created Fortuna, and we run shows few and far in between, only because of my AEW schedule now has me really busy, and not a complaint. I just wish I had more time to give Fortuna more of my love and attention. There's this phrase that I love to use with Fortuna, del 956 para el mundo. And that's really what I feel is what I represent. And I feel that I want others to represent that as well, to go out into the world and represent where we come from with pride and just with confidence.
Right. I got to see the production value that Fortuna has because of the collaborations with Thunder. You had her at last, I think, Dia de los Muertos.
Yeah.
Which you guys did a crazy tarot reading. That was that was fun.
We really come into this with the mindset of sports entertainment. Growing up in the Valley, we had this show. I don't know if you guys are familiar with El Show de Johnny Canales. He was a bilingual.
I know.
Yeah, he had a bilingual variety
him.
show.
Yeah.
And he would bring artists like Selena Quintanilla. So that was a huge inspiration.
The star of almost every Tex-Mex
Claro.
started there. Yeah.
And that's what we do with Fortuna, with the theme shows. We really try to think outside the box. Area 956 is the one that we had. Ofrenda with Thunder Rosa. We did Anything for Selena's. That was a show that she sang at as well.
Love that.
But yeah, we're going to continue to do these whenever the opportunity presents itself. We're taking it slow just because we got a lot of things going on with twins going to college, us paying for college, a new baby in the house.
You got a baby, yeah, that's right.
And my 13-year-old also, coming into the teenage world. So
you got the whole perspective there, man. I just got the ones at the end. I'm just doing the college part now.
My twins just turned 18.
You got the whole
going on 19 and
age range there going on. Well, since you're very busy and we're not gonna keep you that much longer, I just wanna talk about something that we got to share actually.
Yeah.
So after a friendship of a couple of years, I think we got to meet in London for the second All In London.
Mm-hmm.
I think. Have you ever been? I don't remember this now. You never been into like Europe or London, right? Before this was your first transatlantic flight. I remember because I mean, I'm not gonna say we made him, but Thunder. So so it's like we're gonna go to the museums and we're gonna go and see the the bridge and all the stuff. How was that experience? And then the Grand Slam Mexico experience, because I think that's when you realize the impact that you have. I mean, I already knew, right? We have a photo. I don't know if we're gonna have time to edit it and put it in. We have a photo in the ring in CMLL, a couple of minutes before a Ring of Honor, I think. I want you to explain to us, because I lived your experience both times. We were near each other. But how is that for you? Is that a great moment, or are other moments comparable? Because that is Mexico, and I mean, I live here, of course, but that is like coming home, but like your parents' home, your grandparents' home, right?
Yeah.
How was that London and Mexico City experience for you?
So first of all, London, I had never been before. It was my first time, and I was really excited. Thanks to you and Thunder, I was able to meet the ambassador of Mexico.
That's right. Oh my God! I forgot. We had breakfast with the ambassador of Mexico.
and I got there late. I was
Oh yeah,
rushing because
he got there on Mexico time. I'm like, this guy is Pocho. He's even like more Mexican now.
I had this badass outfit badass to me, right? I had this badass outfit that I wanted to wear. I was dressed to the nines, but I got to the hotel, rushed in the shower, boom, 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 long ass trip. I didn't realize I was running late. So yeah, I showed up. You guys had already started. Luckily, there was not an issue. She liked me, so conocí a la embajadora de México allá en Londres. And after that, I thought, okay, now I get to rest. No, my friend. Now we're going to the museum. Now we're going to go sightseeing. But I'll tell you what, Tony, that was honestly one of the best times of my life. It holds up there, man. I don't want to compare different moments porque there's so many moments that I've been able to live through this wacky world of wrestling. It's unbelievable. Things that I knew existed, things that I knew I could reach. I just didn't know at what capacity. And being able to live London with you guys was out of this world. And going to Mexico, man, as I mentioned, growing up, I was a huge fan of CMLL. I would watch it weekly. The stories they would tell and the wrestling I would see. La Catedral de la Lucha Libre, Arena México is sacred ground. And poder tocar la arena y pisar el arena, for real, like it was just a dream come true that honestly, that in itself, I never imagined would be possible. And to show up, not just to enjoy some great wrestling, but to work and to be respected by these men that do this, have been doing this for years. The commentators from CMLL, huge thanks to them because they welcomed us with open arms. Just, I don't know, it's hard to put into words, but I'll tell you, the feeling is unlike anything I've ever felt before.
I know you. I will do it for you, but this man got recognized and asked for autographs outside of Arena Mexico.
Wait, that was wild.
And he was, I don't know, he's very humble as we see, but he was like, wait, what just happened? And he was like this. He was just like he wasn't even saying anything. He was just like this. And I'm like, what's wrong? I was like, somebody just asked me for an autograph.
Your
like,
mind has to be blown at that point, man. It's like,
you're huge, bro. You're huge. There's a whole bunch of people listening to you everywhere, and all these people came to watch the show. They're watching in Spanish. They came for you, man. That like they know you're like if you speak, they will be like, oh wait, what's happening right now?
I'm not gonna lie. That really took me by surprise porque we do this product here in the U.S. and like I said, they'll put us on the side and not gonna lie, like recently, también people do come up to us and thank us because fans who sit close to us, they listen to the commentary. They're like, we don't know what you said, but it was great. Thank you for giving us that experience. So, which is great for me. Pero to go to Mexico, and here I am admiring the halls of Arena Mexico, admiring los puestecitos afuera where they're selling masks and everything. And there's a lot of people show up.
It is Mexico. It is Mexico City, so it's crowded. It's
congested. Pero wait, they were coming up to me and asking for photos and thanking me for what I do. Like, come on, like that never, I don't know. I don't have the words for it, pero it really, really made my day. And I hold that dearly from now until forever, man.
I don't want to keep you too much longer because I know you got a busy schedule to keep. So let me end it here. First, let me say, throw in any plugs that you want, but I want to end it here. What's the beef with Angelico for having a group called SAP and trying to steal your thunder? Are you ready to put this man on the ground or what? I mean, I know you can lace up the boots. You can take him. I got my money on you, Alvaro.
I was gonna bring this. Is Joe Bandana going to make a comeback? And who is Joe Bandana?
Bandana Joe. Bandana Joe is my alter ego. Bandana Joe is the wrestler that gave me this career, this life. That's who I was for many years. That's the name I chose. Samoa Joe at the time when I got into wrestling played a huge role in my liking and loving the strong style wrestling, his style, the hybrid style. And coming into pro wrestling, I wanted a name that fans could, just roll off the tongue. And I watched the movie Goonies, and I admired Josh Brolin's character. He, as an older brother, he had his bandana, and from there is where I got the idea. But my influence itself was, largely, what I grew up with, the Hulk Hogan mannerisms in the ring, but my own style of that, the Mexican, the Tex-Mex version of that.
Right.
So that's what really helped me was Bandana Joe. But I will say there is no heat with the SAP. If Angelico wanted to, he could tie me up in a pretzel. But Angelico and Serpentico were at one time part of the Spanish announce team alongside with me. They would help me out. They would help Thunder Rosa. We were doing Ring of Honor.
Yeah, right.
And then it'd be great because they'd be doing commentary. They're like, oh, I have a match. So drop the headset and make their way to the ring. Ya sabes, Angelico with his flow. So, yeah, no heat, man. I don't want them to think there's any heat. I respect them, brother.
Well, I'm very happy it did not become Mexicano Jose, because that would have been so weird.
Imagine. Paño Jose.
Paño Jose, that's funny.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Alvaro. We really appreciate having you here. Please, doors open any point in time. Like, you want to stop through, you got other guests you want to send through from, if you're promoting a show or anything, please, we're here, we're the homies, and we got your back always, brother. And I'm so glad you were able to come on the show and kind of tell some people your story too, because, as a person that has tried to help over the past decade to make Lucha Libre a part of the indie American experience for wrestling, I think you're a big part of that too. And the fans of our show need to know who you are, because what you're bringing to that culture as well is super important. So hopefully everybody enjoyed this time with Alvaro, and we will see you again soon, my friend.
Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, guys.
Welcome, man. Thank you for being here.
That was our homie, Alvaro Riojas. Merry Christmas, everybody. Thanks for stopping by the MMM show. And until next time, as always, stay calm and stay in the mix.